Hello, hello. So today I want to talk about why you keep falling for unavailable men. So before I get started, just going to introduce myself. So I am Elizabeth. I am the founder of this group. I am a dating coach for high achieving, smart women who have a more feminine core, who want to attract the man of their dreams, who's a masculine man who pursues them, makes the moves things forward with ease and effortlessness, so they can build lasting love, a fulfilling and supportive and loving relationship where there is commitment and security with the man who's truly invested in the relationship. So that is what I help my clients do. I am also enrolling one-on-one clients currently, so DM me if you're interested and you want to set up a call to talk about working together, and let's dive in. So this is for you if you are continually dating and entering into relationships with men who go hot and cold, come closer and then pull away, or are wishy-washy about commitment and you want more from them and they are not ready or willing to give you more. So this means, like, what's going on here? If this is something that you are experiencing consistently, this tends to be a pattern that you have with men, this means that on a deeper level, this actually feels normal to your nervous system and to your belief system. So on a nervous system level, you are actually being attracted to it. And this is all subconscious, so you might be like, that's, I don't want that, but on the subconscious nervous system level, that is what you are attracted to. So chasing unavailable men is a sign of a wounding that hasn't been healed, a whole belief system that hasn't been worked through. So if you continually fall for men who do not want to or unable to or unwilling to commit to you all of the way, it's not that the men out there in the world are all just unavailable and commitment phobic and like don't want to move things forward with women. That's not true. That's not actually the reality of everyone's experience in the dating scene, right? And you know that. So then what is it? What's going on? Why is that your experience? It's because subconsciously you are being attracted to this dynamic and pulled towards this dynamic and not really feeling like there's something else that's really possible, like truly believing that. Because you're actually attracted to this unavailability and a part of you actually wants that and likes that. So why? It's because your subconscious pulls you to them again and again and again because they fit your subconscious love blueprint. And this comes from childhood, right? This always comes from what we have experienced in the past as love in relationship. And that always starts in childhood with our primary caregivers, with our mother and our father. And this is how we build a belief system and a nervous system experience around what love is, who men are, who men aren't, who women are, who women aren't, who you are, what you're worthy of, what you're not worthy of, what's possible for you, what's not possible for you, and how you're going to get it. So who you're going to get love, how you'll get it. So that feeling of longing and distance and anxiety and not fully having love, having the man, is actually something that your body is chemically addicted to. That is why this is what you keep creating with men. Because this feeling mirrors what you experienced in childhood. So it could have been an unavailable or absent or emotionally unavailable dad. Like for me, it was. So it wasn't that he was emotionally unavailable, it was that he was literally unavailable and that he died when I was 5. And my whole life, I walked around saying, yeah, my dad died, but my mom remarried, love my stepdad. Like, that didn't impact me. And my whole life, I kept being attracted to and getting in situations with unavailability and love that wasn't going to work out. And that was what felt so alluring to me and like addictive to me almost. These were always the situations I was getting into with men and the men I was falling for. And so what I have come to understand and came to understand when I started to be like, okay, why is this? And I started to actually ask, can I change this? Because like, I'm so sick and tired of this. Is that I realized that I had taken on a whole host of beliefs about myself, about men, about love, about what love feels like because of that unhealed event and the meanings and the beliefs systems and the nervous system changes that happened as a result of that. And so I literally kept being attracted to men who were actually unavailable. And I kept getting my heart broken, and I kept settling then as like a reverse of that for quote unquote safe men who, in the sense, they were safe in the sense that like they loved me, they liked me more than I did them. And so that way my heart couldn't get broken, right? And I was trying to find someone who wouldn't leave. But again, it wasn't like the soulmate match. It was the guy who's not going to leave. So it was kind of a two dichotomies that I would swing between. And so I had these massive walls around my heart to protect me from getting hurt. So emotionally unavailable men, or just unavailable men, or men that I wasn't actually in love with, were all ways that I could actually keep love away to protect myself. And so I even recreated pushing love away, even with my fiance, who was actually available in the beginning, because I didn't know how to do love differently. My nervous system didn't know how to do it differently. Everything hadn't been rewired completely yet, although I had done a lot of it before I met him. And that's why I met him. So for you, it's going to be like parents who never gave you the love and connection in the way that you needed. We're not blaming them, but you can just see the roots. You can start to see where this comes from, right? And that's the first step, because then you know, oh, then I can change it, and you can start to be like, okay, well, now there's something I could do, right? So in childhood, it's likely that connection wasn't consistent or couldn't be relied on. And so you grew up insecurely attached to your primary caregivers who were not consistently there for you emotionally or physically. And so you developed this high tolerance for a lack of deeper connection and a lack of a secure attachment. So you experienced inconsistent connection, unavailability. It all felt normal since there wasn't another experience that you had. And so subconsciously, this all gets ingrained. And so the work is to go to the subconscious, which is part of the work that I do with my clients. So as a result, you have this belief system that you have to try really hard to get love, because because those experiences happened, right? And then there is a way that you interpreted them that created this meaning system for you. So you as a child, you gave them a certain meaning. It doesn't mean that it was true, but it is the meaning that your child self was able to make sense of what happened through. And that has been running the show for the rest of your life since then. That child self, that child meaning that was created, has been calling the shots with men and with love and with relationships. So you're being pulled towards these men to try to get love from somebody who actually represents your father, that parental figure, to your subconscious, a man who feels like him. For me, it was my father died. He quote unquote disappeared. He went away and never came back. And so men who it felt like they might do that were incredibly alluring to me. They like always, it was pulling me in, and I didn't know that that was what was happening. Because there's this subconscious thought, like, if I can get this man, and this is not conscious, by the way, but if I can get this man who feels like my father to love me, to choose me, then it's going to heal that pain that I'm carrying, that wound that I'm carrying. And then I'm going to be worthy, right? And this is not a conscious choice, but it's how your subconscious is operating, right? There's going to be some meaning that was made from that is operating now, and why you're doing what you're doing. So as an adult, you're going to be drawn towards men in relationships that mimic what was normal in childhood, i.e. unavailable love, right? So you spend a lot of time pining after and trying to make it work with men who just simply weren't wired for, or able to, or desiring of a deeper connection and commitment. And it's likely that you are too agreeable. You tend to be willing to bend yourself for the other person's needs, and it seems more important to do that than to have your own needs met, because there's a belief around that, and maybe I can't get them met, maybe I'm too much, right? And so just not expecting too much back, kind of the breadcrumbs, right? And so you likely spent years from unavailable man to unavailable man in this cycle, perhaps even sabotaging relationships that might have worked. Because that is the other piece. Even if we're in a relationship that could work, when we're still wired the old way, we are likely to sabotage the new thing that could have worked. So beneath all of that, there's a sense of, like, I need to fix something in me. if I could just find that thing and fix that thing, then the man that I'm enamored with, that I'm in love with, that I want, he wouldn't pull away anymore, and then I'd get his love and connection. And what I've seen time and time again, myself and in my clients, is that there's this pattern. There's something underneath why we're doing what we're doing. And it is controlling the results that we're getting, right? Whatever that system is, whatever that if-then is. And so the work that I developed as I figured out what the problem was for myself and figured out how to do the rewiring work around my nervous system, around my belief system, around love and men, and my clients go through this too, through what I have created as a way to do this so efficiently, so effectively, so quickly, is that we then stop repeating this pattern and we attract and choose available men who actually commit to us, who actually are going to love us, really, who are true partners for us instead of this hot, cold, not fully in, not fully out kind of situation, or pining after a man who's completely unavailable and being hung up on him for so long. So until you really heal, and remove the subconscious programming around what happened so that then doesn't have to keep repeating, you're going to continue this pattern of choosing unavailable men because it's not your conscious mind that is doing the choosing. 95% of what we do and the choices that we make are from our subconscious. Only 5% of what we're doing and the choices we're making is coming from our conscious mind, which is why you can read all of the books and then nothing actually changes in your life. You can know all the things to do right and then you don't actually do them. You still fall for that guy. You still show up in this way that you're like, I wasn't supposed to, or, this is not what everything is recommending, so why do I keep doing this? This is why, because it's not being driven by your conscious mind. So we need to find out what's going on in there and actually rewire it through the subconscious programming work, through the nervous system work, and then lastly, the last piece that we work on is the conscious belief work, because that's the last step. And this is why all your affirmations and your visualizations and all the reading and the information that you're taking in isn't doing anything for you, because it hasn't reached the subconscious level. And this is also why typical therapy hasn't worked either, because it's all about just talking, and often it's just rehashing a story, and it's actually re-ingraining those beliefs, and it's not actually moving or shifting anything on a deep level. And so you need to go to someone who can go with you into your subconscious, who knows what to look for and can pull out what's actually going on there and then actually help you rewire it. That's not something that we can do on our own because we have all these blind spots, right? So I want you to know that there is no need to continue this pattern for another round, another heartbreak, another several months and often years wasted on the wrong man, that this can actually begin to shift for you very quickly. So if this is you, if you're recognizing yourself in this, or if you just have some patterns, it doesn't have to be this particular pattern, but you have patterns with men, you don't have what you want, which is always a sign that there's something in the way. You don't have the relationship that you want, means something is in the way. Reach out to me, because this is what I help clients do. I want to help you with this. I want to help you shift it to get the love that you want and the kind of man that you truly deserve in your life. So the work that I'm doing with clients, at least when we're talking about the inner work, is shifting the pattern inside, right? Because we're going deeper than you've gone in therapy by actually rewiring the subconscious flow blueprint, all the beliefs, all the stuff in there that is sabotaging you, and the things that you might not even know are there, but you actually you just haven't seen them, you don't know it's there. It could even be something that you are aware of, but you're like, I can't change it, I can't shift it, it feels stuck for me. So certain beliefs that aren't serving you that you're aware of, or certain emotional experiences that you keep having, the anxiety, the chasing, the pursuing, the longing, the pushing away, because we do that too, whatever it is, that you haven't been able to shift, right? And it's there, and maybe this is not even true or real, but I keep having this thought or this belief or this emotional experience. That's what we shift as well. So this creates true transformation, where before you may have only gathered knowledge, like from reading a bunch of books, listening to podcasts, taking courses, which is all great. It has its place, but that's maybe at the start of your journey, and you notice it's not really doing anything for me. That was my experience, is like, I had like read all the stuff and it wasn't actually shifting my actual experience of what was happening for me. That's because it's not rooted in deep transformation, because all of that is in your blind spots. That's in like the 95% subconscious that is really controlling everything. So you literally only have the tiny tip of the iceberg when you work with the conscious, right? And so that is why it's not really doing much for you. So it's kind of like they say, you don't know what you don't know, right? And this is why transformation requires somebody else to get in there with you, because you don't see what you don't see, right? And even if you see it, you're like, but what do I do with it? You can't find the answers. So I get straight to the roots with you. We heal, we rewire them. And when you've done that, then you get the strategy and the practical of what to do. None of that practical and the strategy does much until we get to the root of what's causing this pattern in the first place. Then when you're at that level, and some clients come to me and they've done a lot of the healing work, but they're ready for like, okay, a little support around what am I not seeing? I still have some blind spots. Doesn't even have to be the biggest things. Maybe those are shifted, but it's like, okay, so now what do I do on the dating apps? When I'm communicating with men, what do I look for? All of that comes after the transformation happens, because otherwise, it's like getting the information and you're pouring new wine into old bottles. If you've heard that story, that metaphor, what happens when you pour new wine into old bottles is they explode because they can't hold it. So the transformation has to come first. And when this happens, unavailable men will literally, they don't have a pull for you anymore. When I finally got to that root and actually cleared it out, healed it through doing the shifting work, that transformational work, I wasn't attracted to them anymore. Yes, there are going to be men who are not ready for commitment, but it didn't impact me anymore in the way it used to. And then what happens is you actually become very magnetic to available men who are ready to commit, ready to love you, ready to give you everything that you've wanted and more. Those men suddenly show up in your life, and they may have been around you before now, but you weren't available for them. You couldn't really see them because of the other stuff that was kind of blinding you. So you're in a different energetic paradigm, essentially. So that available man is out there who is ready. He lights up on your timeline then. And then you attract him in. And it's very easy. It's very smooth. It just is like step by step by step. You're just going where you need to go with him. It's not this efforting and this struggle and this intensity that you are used to experiencing with dating and with men and relationship. And that's when I give you just the simple tweaks to what you're doing to your online dating profile, to exactly what to say to get him to ask you out, all of those things. But if you're wired to see a push-pull of disconnection as normal, and you have a whole belief system around that supports this, you will just attract more of that. So clients often come to me thinking that they're going to get help becoming more of the woman that this particular man will come towards, or to get help continuing to tolerate a level of disconnection and emotional unavailability with the man and the absence of true security. And that's not what happens. So instead, we're removing the inner barriers and the blocks to attracting a truly available, commitment-ready man who wants them and is ready now and knows it with certainty. And then they attract him in. It happens very quickly at that point. Because right now, if a man seems too interested and available to you, can actually be a turnoff to you, can be totally uninteresting to you. It's just not lighting up on your timeline. They don't register on your radar. And so the work is unwiring the root of why that is, and then you attract and are attracted to a man who is actually right for you, a really, really good match for you. And there's work to do around that, and how do you identify him, and how do you know when you're with this man, and who is right for you, and what do you really want? Because, love is not meant to feel anxiety-provoking, dysregulated so hard, and it doesn't have to. That's not what love is meant to be like for you. Love can be easy. Attracting love can be easy. Finding a man can be easy. There are so many available men who would make an amazing partner for the incredible woman that you are. Dream partners. There is no shortage. And so as my clients who are now in a relationship with their dream man know, even though before they were like, I'm not sure he's out there, I might need to move to a totally different country. And that's really rarely the case because there are so many good men we just can't see. We can't let go of the patterns that are holding us back from really attracting those in. So if you would like to work with me or set up a consult call with me to talk about working together, then send me a DM. We'll just chat about what's going on our call and where you're looking for support and what it looks like, all the details of working together. And then if it's a fit, we'll get you enrolled and you could literally start right away with one-on-one coaching. And I am so excited for you and what would be possible. So send me a message if that's you, and I will see you next time. Bye.